We begin with breaking news. The retired police sergeant accused of crashing into a motorcycle while under the influence is in custody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Skryzak.
And I'm Dawn Sterling. Michael Egan was booked into the Sangamon County Jail this afternoon. Egan faces charges of aggravated DUI. News Channel 20 Spencer Davis joins us now live from outside the Sangamon County Jail where Egan is being held tonight. Spencer?
Yeah, Illinois State Police arrested Michael Egan today on an aggravated driving under the influence. ISP's initial investigation says Egan failed to yield and collided with two people on a motorcycle. He's accused of turning left into the path of the bike. ISP conducted a blood test before the warrant was issued this morning. One of the motorcycle riders remains hospitalized while the other has been discharged. The case remains under investigation. Reporting live, I'm Spencer Davis.
Thank you, Spencer. Aggravated DUI is a Class 4 felony, which means he faces up to 3 years behind bars if convicted.
The family of those two victims are speaking out tonight. Chelsea Farley is still in the hospital tonight with serious injuries. The driver, Trevor Hopkins, is also still recovering. News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you to share what the victims' families are saying following last week's crash. Monique?
We had the opportunity to speak with both families, and they were able to provide updates on the conditions of their loved ones. I spoke with Trevor's sister, Jade Valleys, on the phone, and she says that her brother was discharged from St. John's Hospital on September 6th, but is still unable to walk or function on his own. Caitlin Weiss, Chelsea Farley's sister, says her sister is still fighting for her life.
Oh, my sister is still sedated and on a ventilator. She's doing better every day, though, and getting stronger, which is our main focus. She went through 11 hours of surgery Saturday, the 7th. They'll try to start waking her up, and we can see what's going on in the neurological side of her issues.
Chelsea is expected to undergo surgery today to repair the remaining damage to her body. Caitlin says when Chelsea wakes up, she'll have to spend 6 to 8 weeks learning how to walk again. Reporting in studio, I'm Monique Davis.
Thanks, Monique. A GoFundMe page has been created for Chelsea's medical expenses. Meanwhile, his arrest comes after calls for something to happen. In fact, dozens of people gathered outside Springfield Police Headquarters this morning to demand justice. News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett joins us live with the changes they want.
That's right. Tensions rose during the protests today with the public demanding accountability from law enforcement. One citizen was even arrested. Now, the main message was that they want cops treated like everybody else. The family of Chelsea Farley, the woman who was struck by a motorcycle by a former officer who was accused of being drunk at the time, was present at the protest today, saying their family had to be notified through social media. Witnesses are claiming the cop received special treatment after that crash. Now, residents are demanding that there be change when it comes to treating the police like everyone else.
If everybody was out here initially and at the previous protest, maybe we'd have change by now. We don't know that that's true, but that's the point, is that it's all one big picture. Nobody's just out here for Chelsea. Everybody's out here to see them be held accountable.
Now, the family is demanding more transparency and communication when it comes to law enforcement. Now, many I spoke to today said they are afraid to call the police. In Springfield, I'm Carolina Hassett. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Carolina. Coming up tonight on News Channel 20 at 6, see how the protests escalated and how residents feel their relationship with law enforcement has been broken. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Protests rang out today outside the Springfield Police Department.
That's right. Local residents are angry, saying lately it seems like the police have been getting special treatment. Now, as News Channel 20's Carolina Hassett explains, they're demanding change.
That's right. Tensions rose during the protests today with the public demanding accountability for law enforcement. One citizen was even arrested. The main message is that they want cops treated like everybody else.
Is it fair to say that here in Springfield enough is enough?
It's been enough.
Hundreds of residents gathered Monday outside of the Springfield Police Department demanding change.
My grandmother was who got reached out on social media through a family member of Trevor's, not the hospital, not the police. They did not contact us.
Many of those residents being families who have been impacted by police, including Sonia Massey's mother and the family of Chelsea Farley. She was hit by a recently retired Springfield police officer who is now accused of driving drunk. One of the things many are demanding are holding officers to the same standard as citizens.
I don't think after a police officer receives a DUI, he should be a police officer any longer.
This referencing Sean Grayson, the former deputy who shot and killed Sonia Massey, who had a previous DUI on his record. Witnesses on the scene the night of the motorcycle crash arguing that the officer who was responsible was treated differently.
When he did get placed into the officer's car, they let him sit in the front seat, and this is the treatment that they give one of their own. They wouldn't do this to me, or they wouldn't do it to an actual citizen.
During the protest, things began to escalate, with police arresting Tiara Standage, one of the organizers of the protests. Residents are continuing to say that their trust with police is broken.
It's almost putting everybody on alert. Should I even trust officers? Right now, I wouldn't call 911. I wouldn't do it.
If everybody was out here initially and at the previous protest, maybe we'd have change by now. We don't know that that's true, but that's the point, is that it's all one big picture. Nobody's just out here for Chelsea. Everybody's out here to see them be held accountable.
Now, residents say they're going to take more of their concerns to City Council tomorrow to demand accountability from Chief Ken Scarlett and the rest of the city. In Springfield, I'm Carolina Hassett. Back to you.
Thanks, Carolina. We reached out to Springfield Police as well as Mayor Misty Buscher for a statement, and both declined at this time.
The retired police sergeant accused of crashing into a motorcycle while under the influence is now in custody. Michael Egan was booked into the Sangamon County Jail this afternoon. Egan faces charges of aggravated DUI. News Channel 20's Spencer Davis joins us live from outside the Sangamon County Jail, where Egan's being held. Spencer?
That's right. Michael Egan was arrested today by Illinois State Police under aggravated driving under the influence. ISP's initial investigation says Egan failed to yield and collided with two people on a motorcycle. He's accused of turning left into the path of the bike. ISP conducted a blood test before the warrant was issued this morning. One of the motorcycle riders remains hospitalized, while the other has been discharged. His case remains under investigation. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Spencer Davis.
Thanks, Spencer. Now, aggravated DUI is a Class 4 felony, meaning he faces up to 3 years behind bars if convicted.
Following the death of Sonia Massey and the Springfield sergeant accused of driving under the influence, Springfield residents are demanding for police officers to be held accountable. News Channel 20's Monique Davis sat down with advocacy groups to see the solutions that can be created. Monique?
I sat down with the NAACP and the Faith Coalition for the Common Good, and the one thing they said in common is educating the community on what resources are available to them.
Justice for Chelsea and Trevor, Sonia Massey, and everybody else in the town who can't understand why these tragedies keep happening at the hands of, the good guys doing bad guy stuff and immediately covering it up on camera.
Caitlin's sister, Chelsea Farley, will have to relearn how to walk after being struck by the former Springfield Sergeant Michael Egan. Austin Rudolph, president of the Springfield NAACP, says when situations involving the police arise, it's important for residents to know their rights.
You can always ask an attorney. They have time for at least free consultation in some cases. Ask your pastor. Ask the university. There are many legal scholars as well as people who study and teach criminal justice.
President Rudolph says the police force also has a responsibility to protect their community.
To be held accountable. They have an obligation to teach and educate us on the do's and don'ts. That is something that I believe they need to do more of in many different ways so that you can build that.
Dr. Glenn Walton, president of the Faith Coalition of the Common Good, says the police should work on adding more diversity in the department and camera coverage.
There should be some more police cameras engaged in the community so they won't be so fearful of the police officers coming in, so they get familiar with the community and understand that they're there for safety, and then so the resident won't feel so nervous all the time.
In 2019, the Faith Coalition created the Transformational Task Force that allows residents to be trained as leaders to address issues in the community surrounding the police. Reporting in studio, I'm Monique Davis.
Thanks, Monique. President Rudolph also made it clear for residents to voice their opinions at city council meetings.
Is it fair to say that here in Springfield enough is enough?
It's been enough.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Skryzak.
And I'm Dawn Sterling. It was a very chaotic day at the capital city
Following the details of the Massey case and now a motorcycle crash by a former officer, the Springfield community angry with local law enforcement for treating officers differently than the public.
A week after a 5-hour meeting, the Springfield City Council may be in for another long night on Tuesday.
News Channel 20's Spencer Davis joins us now to explain why. Spencer?
Last week's lengthy meeting was over a proposed emergency ordinance that would have fined those without homes for sleeping on city grounds, including sidewalks. This week, we'll see the public speaking on their lack of confidence in Springfield PD. Over 30 people signed up to speak at last week's council meeting. Based off of some of the speakers from today's protest, that number may be reached Tuesday night, too.
And they had invited the police chief who had said he would be there, or we were under the assumption that he would be there. And you didn't show up to listen to my words. And you don't want anybody to speak on Tuesday at our city council meeting in our town.
The protest today was set up in advance, but more support showed up because of the recent allegations and charging of a former SPD officer for his role in an alleged DUI crash. I reached out to city officials to find out if there would be extra security or an estimate of how many speakers there would be. I did not receive a response. Reporting in Springfield, I'm Spencer Davis.
Thanks, Spencer. Former SPD officer Michael Egan was arrested today for aggravated driving under the influence, a felony that would allow for up to 3 years in prison if convicted. Well, tensions rose during the protests today, with the public demanding accountability from law enforcement. The family of Chelsea Farley, the woman who was hit by a motorcycle by a former officer, was present at the protest today, saying their family had to be notified through social media. Now residents are demanding that there will be change when it comes to treating the police like everybody else.
If everybody was out here initially and at the previous protest, maybe we'd have change by now. We don't know that that's true, but that's the point, is that it's all one big picture. Nobody's just out here for Chelsea. Everybody's out here to see them be held accountable.
The family is demanding more transparency and communication when it comes to law enforcement.
And we spoke to the families of the victims of the motorcycle crash. They said Chelsea Farley is in hospital still tonight with serious injuries. The driver, Trevor Hopkins, still recovering. Chelsea's sister Caitlin tells us Chelsea will have to spend 6 to 8 weeks learning how to walk again.
My sister is still sedated and on a ventilator. She's doing better every day, though, and getting stronger, which is our main focus. She went through 11 hours of surgery Saturday, the 7th. They'll try to start waking her up, and we can see what's going on in the neurological side of her issues.
A GoFundMe has been made for Chelsea's medical expenses. Springfield's mayor, Misty Buscher, says she has met with the families of both of the victims. Buscher addresses the community about what's going on in the case following Egan's arrest.
As the city put out in a press statement on Friday, there is an ongoing internal investigation at the Springfield Police Department. There is also a criminal investigation being conducted by the Illinois State Police. There are ongoing investigations. We ask that you let those play out and be patient.
The mayor also encouraged the community to contribute to the victims' GoFundMe accounts.
After this latest motorcycle crash and the death of Sonia Massey, Springfield residents are demanding for police officers to be held accountable. We sat down with leaders from the Faith Coalition and the NAACP about the solutions they think can be created when situations with police arise.
Always ask an attorney. They have time for at least free consultation in some cases. Ask your pastor. Ask the university. There are many legal scholars as well as people who study and teach criminal justice.
Randolph also made it clear for residents to voice their opinions at city council meetings. Remember, you can stay up to date on the latest developments on these stories over on our website, newschannel20.com. Thanks for watching. Stick around by subscribing today and don't miss a single video.